So this week I am back with a fun fold favorite, and this was one that I love and I've seen around a lot, but today I'm going to show you how I create one, and then I'm also going to show you how I decorate it. So this one is going to be decorated for a man, and I know it's really hard to find cards, come up with ideas for cards for guys, so this one is one that I thought would be great for a guy. So stick around and see how I decorate it as well. Welcome to Fun Fold Friday, and welcome to my channel Making Crafts. Each week I try to bring you a new card idea. Even if it's an old card idea, it's kind of a new idea when we bring it back to our minds, because I forget all of these fun folds. So this is going to be a place for me to check my playlist and see ideas when I don't have any idea of what card I want to make. So what we're going to do for this card is we're going to start out with 2 sheets of, this is about 80-pound cardstock. I guess you could use 60 as well. I can't remember what this one is exactly. Let me look over here. Well, actually this is 65-pound cardstock. So this is 65-pound cardstock. I'm using black. You can use any color. So like I said, I'm going to decorate this one up for a guy, but you can decorate it up however you want. This for be guys or gals. This card is not specific. And when I say that I'm creating a card for a gender, it's not gender specific. It's really up to you how you want to decorate it up. So we're going to start out with our 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and we're going to cut it down to 4 1/4. With our 8.5 side up to the top of our paper trimmer, we're going to cut it at 4 1/4 and cut it all the way down, and that leaves us with a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece. We're going to set that aside. Then we're going to take the other strip that's left, and we're going to cut it at 3 inches, and I'm just going to cut it down the whole length, and then I'm just going to trim it off to 10 inches. So let's just do that right, oops, right there. Okay, put the scraps aside. Then we're going to take our second sheet, and we need a piece that measures 3 by 8. So I'm just going to take it off the top of the piece here. I'm just going to cut a 3-inch piece off the 8.5-inch side, and then I'll just cut it down to 8, and that way we save our paper. We don't use so much of our other sheet, and then we can set this aside for another project. So you should, if you're following along, you should have 3 pieces so far. You should have a 3 by 8, and you should also have a 3 by 10, and then a 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Hope I haven't been saying 11.5, but it's 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, so you're going to set those aside, and we're going to bring out our scoring tool, and so we're going to, our scoreboard I mean, and then get a scoring tool. And so for our 3 by 8 inch piece, we want to score at 2.5, and then again at 5.5, and that's with our 8-inch side up to the top of our paper. Then we're going to bring in our 3 by 10 inch piece. We're going to put the 10 inches to the top of our board, and we're going to score at 2.5, at 5, and then again at 7.5. We're going to set all these aside as we do this, and then for this one we're going to bring in and we're going to score at 5.5. So we're just making our card base here. So let's just, I want to just line those pieces up. I'm just trying to line the bottom up there, and then I'm just pressing down. Okay, I'll set this aside. Get my scoring tool here. This one, well, not scoring tool, but my pressing tool. I like this one. It does really good. Okay, so this one we're going to set aside for now. Let's bring in our 3 by 8 inch piece. And I don't know if you can see the lines there. That might have been a problem that I chose black, but hopefully you can see good enough. And then we're going to bring back in this little pointed scoring tool, and I'm going to find a straight edge. This is a ruler, and so what I'm going to do, it's a different style ruler that my husband made me, but you can just anything with a straight edge. So you see how you have your fold, your score line here and here. What we want to do is we want to put our ruler across from this corner to this corner and then score. So I'm just going to lay it down here so I can do it. And I'm just seeing like the corner of my paper is here and here. And so I'm just going to score from one line to the other. So I don't know if you can see. Let me try that again so I can get a little darker. So you can see that. Okay. It's hard to see, but you can barely see it in there. It's just gonna, so we're gonna make an X because we're gonna go to the other side and we're gonna do the same thing. So we're just making an X. So I'm gonna put my ruler here at the top of this score line and then down here at the bottom of this one. And then I'm just gonna go straight across. And there I don't hope you can see that. You kind of see an X in there. So we have our score lines here and here on each side, and then we have an X in the center. So what we want to do is we want to fold on that score line. So I'm just gonna see if I can, I may have to do it a little harder. Let me put it in my scoreboard now that I have my X and see if I can. So I have this, I've put a black line down the middle of my scoreboard so it's easy to line something up like this. And so see, I'm just gonna score it there. Now that I have the now that I have the marks from where I was using my ruler, it's really easy to do. So now maybe you can see that better. Now you can see the X. So that's good. And this is really the main mechanism of how this card's going to work. And I forgot to tell you at the beginning, this is a pop and twist card. I will have that on the title, so hopefully you will know that. I just forgot to share that. So we're just going to press there, and then we're going to press across the other X and just press good. And so there we have, it should look something like this. So now what I want to do is I want to get my point in there really good so that this is a point and not just rounded. So I'm just pressing in. So you see these pieces here, I just want to press those down and then press this one down. And I'm just going to work it with my finger and fiddle with it for just a minute so that we get that point back in there because it's kind of wanting to bend. So there we go, we just do one side at a time. So you can see we're just folding that in. So just going right in here and folding those edges together. And we're going to do the same thing there. Just take your fingernail and go up there and press a little bit. So then we just press down and press down. Get that scored in there good. Okay, so we have it like that. So now what we want to do is we want to take, and so we have, you can see it's like this, we want to take and we're going to fold back, just pinching these two sides like this, pinching like that, and then we're just going to fold back and then press. Kind of bent down wrong. Let's try that one more time here. Got to keep those separate from each other. Okay. And just press it down. So we're trying to overlap a little bit. You don't want them to overlap those little pieces. So here we have our piece. So you can see here. I want to show you there again. So all we did was we took and we folded. Let's try to do it without the score here. We just fold in here, and then we're just going to take, you have your flat piece here, then you're going to pull it up and pinch the two sides and fold it over like that. And hopefully that makes sense, and you can go back and just slow down the video if I went too fast, but I'm sure you've seen how these are made before. Okay, so now we're going to take our card base, and before I add this, I want to put white paper on the inside of my card base. So let me grab a sheet of white paper. Okay, so I need to cut this piece down to 4 by 5 1/4. So that will go at the top there. And then I'm just going to cut this one down as well. I probably cut that wrong just then. And I mean, I got the right cut. I just probably, in order to use my paper more wisely and not wasting it, I probably could have done that differently, but that's okay. So here we have, I'm going to put this in here first so that we have that already in our card. going to add glue to the back of it. Just looking around for my other bottle of glue and I can't find it, so I'll have to use this one today. So just going to center that up on the inside of my card. I keep going back and forth if I want to decorate these panels any. I'm just going to put the card together and not decorate them at first, and then if we want to, I guess we can come back and add some decoration later. It may be a little harder, but that's what I'm going to do because I can't decide. I'm trying to line that up so it's not so crooked. Might be just a little bit. I'm going to try to pull it back up. I don't know if I can or not. It's already stuck down good, I think. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wrinkle this piece up. I'm going to cut one more piece and trash this piece. Okay, so that's better. That's a lot better. Made a little mistake there. I got it fixed though. Okay, so I'm going to add this to the center here. So you can't, it's hard to see, I know, on my card base, but I'm trying to get all that glue off my fingers. There's this, you know, there's the score line where the card base folds. So we want to put this right up at that base, but we want it to be in the center. So let's make sure we measure here. I'm just going to center this up. So that will be right in the center there. So I'm just going to add glue to the back side. So this triangle here, we're just going to put glue on that whole triangle. And I apologize for the dogs crying in the background. She's trying to get my son's attention. We are having a snowy, cold day here, and so they can't go outside and play, and so they're stuck inside, and so they're quite noisy. I think they're bored. Okay, so we've got that one glued down, and I'm just using my ruler to line up the center. So then I just want to add glue to the top triangle here, and then we're just going to fold our card over and press. And so that, so you can see, oops, you do want to give it a moment to dry. That's probably too quickly to open it. So let's give it a moment to dry. I'm just going to press that really good and hold it there for just a second. And so then we'll gently open it this time. And you can see that's part of our twist and pop mechanism. So now, pop and twist mechanism. So now let's make the rest of it. So this piece measures 3 by 10, and we've done all our scores. So what we want to do is we want to go in and we just want to make do an accordion fold. We want to fold at the first one. You're going to just fold in towards itself, and then the next line you fold back, and the next score line in. So then when you get done, it looks like this. So once again, we got to center this up. What we want to do is we want this score line here, the center one, this would have been our 5-inch score line. We want it to line up with the center of this piece here. So what I want to do is make sure I have that lined up. So I'm just going to kind of line it like that and hold it there. And you want this in the top and bottom there. So then you see this little, this looks a little crooked. I want to make sure I got this straight too. So yeah, make sure you have everything straight. So you see this little square up here at the top. You can see when you fold this back, so when this is in like this, you can't see it, but when you fold it back, you have a little square here. That's where we want to add some glue. So we're just going to add glue to that top square. Don't get it on your bottom square, just the top, and then you want to hold this here straight and then press down. Just line everything up straight. So then on this side, we're going to fold it back like we did the other side, but this time we want to add glue in the bottom square. And when I say square, there's a fold line there, a score line there that you can see. And so what you want to do is just keep it on the bottom square. And then we're just going to fold it back over and glue it down. And give that a second to dry. Just pressing on it. So we're going to just fold in. And you can see it, it's twisting over and back down. And then I'm just going to press really good. You want to do that slow at first so that make sure everything's lined up good. So then you can open it back up and we have our fold and twist. So now it's time to decorate it. This is the fun part, and this is how I'm going to make mine for a guy. Okay, the first thing I want to use to decorate is this new press plate by Spellbinders, and it's called Deluxe Deck. And Spellbinders sent me this whole collection, and I will have to put the name of the collection in the description box below because I can't remember it. And I'll be showing you some of the dies and things from it in just a few moments. So I'm hopping in a day later. I've already created the card. I really want to show you how to use this press plate correctly. I made mistakes in that video. I finally got it to work, but I was in such a hurry because I needed to go pick up my son from work and in the middle of a snowstorm, and so there's a lot of stress going on. That video, it went on and on. I made mistakes 2 or 3 times, and so I don't want you to have to sit through all of those mistakes. I'm okay with showing my mistakes, but at some point I don't want you to have to sit through me trying to figure it out. So I've gone ahead and set everything up. I have the press plate here on my Better Press mat, and you know it's magnetic, and so I've put a piece of paper here which measures, it's the A2 size paper. So here's what I want, and I want to ask the community if you have one of these, or if you're watching and you don't have one but you have like this awesome idea you can share with me. Here is the issue I'm having. When I'm running, and here's the one I did this morning and made the mistake again even after I've made the card and done some correctly. So you see when I add the tape, I'm putting the tape too far up or too far down, but I'm having trouble deciding where the tape needs to go in order to prevent it from being, the ink getting on it and not getting on my paper, so that, you know, the tape's covering up the paper. So I've got it on the A2 size here. Let me show you. And I have it centered up. And then when I put this on, I'm trying to center up the paper as well. And so with the Better Press, I have loved it. It has been so easy to use, but I have not been using plates like this big plate. I love this plate though. When you see how it looks when I get through pressing it, it's so worth it trying to figure it out. But it's just that I keep forgetting. So what I was doing was putting the tape along the bottom. First I put the tape across the edges. Big mistake. That was a huge area. I didn't even think about it. So now I'm just putting it on the very itty bitty specks of the corners. So I'm thinking with the tape on the very edge of the corners, I'm not going to get any of the ink. We shall see, but it's barely holding it down. But we're going to see and see how that works out. Hopefully this time I don't mess up. Because this one I got everything so beautiful, except when I pulled it off, I realized the tape was too far up. So really, I'm not sure if there's anything different I could do. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm thinking that I'm doing what is correct. The only other thing I was thinking was getting larger paper. So I've been using the pre-cuts. If I got larger paper and then cut it maybe to a little bit larger size, so I knew I had plenty of room. But I don't know. So I am using a different ink. I'm going to start trying different papers with it as well. But I am not using the Better Press ink. I do have it here, but the stamp pad is so small. And I don't know if that's just the one that came with it's why it's that small, or if all of them's that small. I bought a 4-pack and they're little bitty ones too. So I just felt like this ink, this is permanent ink. I'm pretty sure it's permanent. It says permanent on it. And so I think it's doing just fine. I don't want to show you the card yet because I want to kind of be a surprise at the end what the card looks like. But it worked out just fine. So I'm just going to show you now. So all I did was I just put it on the plate. I'm just putting tape on the very corners. You know, I flipped it over and now we're going to run it through the machine. I was talking and I didn't even go through the steps. But I just wanted to show you how, if you're using this plate or if you buy this plate, I know the plate's not out yet while I'm showing this, but once it does come out, if you were to buy it or buy any plates that are big like this, then hopefully this will help you not make all the mistakes. And so I just have to remember when I use this plate to put the tape out of the way. So you can see there, that looks really good. The tape is out of the corners. It is rolled up a little bit. It moved. I hope that I can get a second image because I do about 2 or 3 times when I do these. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but that seems to be what I have to do to get enough ink on it to like the looks of it. And even when I'm using the Better Press ink, it's that way too. So, and it could be that I'm not going slow enough through my machine or something, but I don't know. Maybe it's just made that you're supposed to. So here we go. Let's try it one more time. I hope I can do this one. It all lines up, even though the paper's wrinkling up a bit. Hopefully it lines up so that we don't get like a double line stamping. But I just wanted to show you how I did it to finally get to work to tape it down and everything in case you were going to try. Because this is a gorgeous, look how beautiful that is. It is an absolute gorgeous press plate. I want it a little bit darker in some spots, so I'm just going to add a little bit of ink to the center here. I think I might have not, I added more to the edges and not the center. The only risky thing is, you know, running it back through a second time, you do run the risk of it not lining up or you moving something, and hopefully I didn't. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm just going to leave it and hope that I got it. So far it has always lined up pretty good. It's just the tape issue I've been having. I'm going to go a little slower because, you know, when you stamp, we were taught years ago, when you stamp, you hold the stamp onto it for just a few seconds so that, I guess, so the paper can absorb the ink and the ink can, you know, transfer over. So that's what I try to do with this one sometimes, is just go slower. If I feel like I'm having to re-ink it over and over, then I just go slower to see if maybe, and I guess, I'm just guessing here, so don't go by, don't take it as the gospel, I guess you should say. But what I'm guessing is that it could vary with your weather too. I feel like if you got more humidity or less humidity, if your house is really dry, I think it's going to take more time, but I could be wrong on that. Look how gorgeous that is. I love this press plate. I think that it is so beautiful, and the texture you feel, that is so awesome. So let's move on. I'm going to jump back into last night's video, and like I said last night, I was stressing having to get done so that I could get to my son to pick him up, to follow him home from work because of the ice and the snow. Well, we finally just had snow. But so hopefully the rest of the video makes sense. I just wanted to show you how to do that. And as you can see, we didn't pull the tape off, but we can see already that I didn't tape into it. So that might be the best idea, is if you have a large press plate, just put a little bit on the corners there. And I may need to get out of the habit. What my habit is to put a big piece across each corner, and that was a big mistake. Okay, so back to the card. So I think this trimmed up really nice, and so I've gone ahead and created some decoration for the inside. So I've cut 4 cards that measure 2 3/8 by 2 7/8, and then I've gone ahead and used the new dies from Spellbinders. It's the Kaleidoscope Noble Suits dies, and this is a die set that they sent me to use and to play with, and so I think it's a lot of fun. These dies have 3 different dies for each shape, and you can layer them up. And here's the one you can use to make cards if you want to make cards. I'm not going to make a card, but I did use it for the number 3 and 0. And so this card's going to be for somebody turning 30, so that's how I did that. Because I could have made up a 3, and then, but there's no 0 card. So then I thought about I could add a bunch of cards, like all 4 of these could have equaled, made little cards that added up to 30. But that was just too much. So I decided that that's not what I want to do, that I would go ahead and just make up these that way. Use my imagination. You can pretend like it's a 3 card and a 0 card to make for a birthday. So now I'm just going to add, see, this is the back side where we made a mistake. So I'm just adding glue to that, and then I'm just going to add the correct side facing up on our card. So I'm just going to try to center this up. Might have been easier to decorate the front before we got that little mechanism in there, because it is kind of bulky, but we're still making it work. I'm just going to press that down. Just make sure that's good and attached. It'll also help fold our card up some. Okay, so there, that's very pretty. And then on the inside, I've cut these so that they'll fit perfectly, you know, inside of each one of the score lines. So I'm just going to add those. And at the bottom here, I can write a sentiment, but they also come with sentiments for this. So I might make another, cut out a sentiment real quick for this card. Well, they don't come with it. The collection has sentiments that match, and I do have those as well. I just got a little bit of glue there, and it's making a mess. So there we go. I love my glue eraser. I use that constantly. I don't know what I'd do without it. Try to center that up. So then we'll put the 0. This glue causes, it is so sticky, and I can't find my other bottle of glue. It's great that it's sticky because glue is supposed to be sticky to hold, but at the same time I'm getting it everywhere all over my card, and so I don't want to make a mess either. I'm just going to line these up with each other. I think that looks right. Let me push that down too. It's folding back up. think I'm going to have to go wash my hands before I can finish this card because I've got the little ink and the glue, so it's making a mess everywhere. So just press that down. And we're going to put this one in the center over here. Try to make sure they're all lined up across the bottom there. Okay, so then we fold our card up. It just folds in. And then when you open it back up, I love that. Let me see what a sentiment I'll put on this one real quick before I finish. Let's see. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I have used the Happy Birthday from the Shuffling Sentiments, and I just ran that through my Better Press with some black ink. And then you have dies to cut out the banner and then the little bottom banner pieces. And I've gone ahead and I've just folded those back and pressed those. And so now I think they're ready to be attached. I've never used this one before, but I'm giving it a try now. So I'm just going to add glue to the back side there and add my Happy Birthday to it. And then this side, I'm just going to add some glue to that flap and add the Happy Birthday on that side. And we'll see what we have here. Okay. That's very interesting. I've never used anything like that before. Had a banner like that. Now I'm wondering, am I supposed to glue it down or do I let it pop up like that? I guess you can do whichever you want. So I'm thinking about putting it on the front of the card here. Hate to cover up those so pretty. What if I do it like that? I glue those two pieces down and I put pop-up dots on the back there. So let's just add a few dots to the center here. Okay. Just down the center of this banner. And then add a little bit of glue to the bottom of these banner pieces. And we're just going to center that up. The center of. Okay, I like that. There's a lot of popping up on this card. This one I think would probably want to hand in person because I'm not even sure what it would take to mail this one since it has the pop-up inside and then we got the banner on the outside. So I like that though. I think that looks good. So it says Happy Birthday. And so for the inside, then you open it up and you have your little pop-up that says the age. So you could do any of the ages. You could do this and then you could put like 54, 85, whatever age the person was. And then write a note down here. And I could decorate up here. I have some of these from the other die set that I would just decorate around. I don't know. Just kind of seeing what it looks like. I cut these out. I thought about making some cards for this one instead, making all these into cards, but like playing cards, but I changed my mind really quickly when I got to doing it. What if we do all four on, let's see, kind of, I don't know, kind of put them around. There we go. Might just do it like that. Maybe like a playing card to have them straight. You know me, I like to do everything wonky, but maybe have it straight. That could have actually been a playing card as well. But I think I'm just going to glue those on like that as well. And then I'll write a note inside, or even stamp happy birthday on the inside with whatever sentiment I come up with. Or saying, if I want to put a saying in there. And you could actually write a note in the top or bottom here. So let's get that lined up straight as I can. I like this. I think this is going to be perfect for a guy. And if you have a lady that likes to play cards, or I used to love to play cards when I was younger, like playing rummy cards and things. Now this one, oh, I probably shouldn't say just in case they watch my videos, but I don't think they do. This is for another one of my sons, and he's not really a card player, but I just thought this was really cool. Him and his brothers used to like to play cards together, so I thought this would be fun for him, even though he's not, you know, type that plays cards all the time, but I think he enjoys it with his brothers. They play all kinds of different card games together. So this would have been great for my 21-year-old too. He used to love to play cards with his friends at work. When they were on break, they would play all kinds of games. So I think that's cute. I really love how that turns out. And you know, you really could, I could have put that up there to match so it'd be like a card, but I kind of like the two different ones, you know, top and bottom there mixed up. So you don't have to stick with the card theme. These can be used so many different ways, but I do love how that looks. I would have never thought of, you know, a die set like this. I think that's a cool idea that he came up with. So here is our completed card. I really love how it turned out. That banner is adorable. I love this press plate as well. I would have never thought of a die set for cards like this, but I really love it, and there's so many more in the items in this collection, so I'll probably be making a video playing with this more, because I honestly didn't know that I would use it as much, that I would get so much enjoyment out of it. So I really love how this turned out, and so I hope that you have been inspired to get out your craft supplies and create something this weekend, and I hope that you have enjoyed seeing me create this, and I hope you're enjoying Fun Fold Friday. Let me know in the comments if you are enjoying Fun Fold Friday, and if you have any requests for a certain type of card that you would like to see me make. It can be a fun fold or any interactive type card that you'd like to see me make on Fun Fold Friday. Let me know in the comments. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.